Welcome to Reading the Green, our golf and fantasy sports show. My name is Mike with Kyle and Jordan on Tuesday, July 25th. Welcome to the Hometown Open. Probably the biggest tournament of the year for us, huh?
I think so. Everyone should be as excited as we are. It's big time.
Super excited. I'm almost as excited. Literally, Jordan just said, or actually, no, it's not Kyle. You just said, I have so much to talk about fantasy football. I'm going to save it for after the show. I'm excited for that too. This is a fantasy sports show. Do you want it? What's the deal? Why we got so much to talk about fantasy football?
I mean, I can go into it. So I text Jordan. I text Jordan this. What was it, like a week ago? 12-man dynasty fantasy football league. We're in our second year. We had two people unsolicited out of the blue offer to join our league as expansion teams and willing to take the last two picks in every round for this year's draft and paid like normal.
Just because it's an investment in getting like cheap guys that might be great, and then they like what's the point there?
They just hear great things and just went into this awesome league.
Wow.
Throwing away money for 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Because that's what it like. They're starting with nothing. Everyone else already has a full team of starters. And we're drafting people for down the road. It's crazy.
I gotcha. All right.
They should just.
So of course we said yes. Why not?
But I thought a couple of your guys wanted to get out, or were not as serious.
They're not as serious, but we offered them out, and this is your chance, and no one took it. So now we have a 14-team league.
Okay.
Well, that's enough fantasy football talk there. Well, we do have the Open Championship recap. We have the 3M Open preview, the Hometown Open. Lots to get to. Let's start though with probably Kyle, second biggest tournament that I could think of last weekend. Jordan, you remember? I haven't heard a word about this.
Second biggest behind the Barracuda, right? And then new member, and then the Open.
Yeah,
that's valid. No, it was good. I played pretty well. Driver Mike is on point. That forgiveness is unreal.
Wow.
I probably hit. So we played 27, 18, 27, 18, however many holes that adds up to. And I probably hit 90% of the fairways. It was good. My putting was like Kyle's driver, all over the place.
So you played like Cameron Young last week, is what you're telling me.
It was bad. It was really bad. I still shot fairly well. My teammate did not help me.
Oh boy! And you brought strokes. That was the strategy.
We were tied for the lead with two other teams going into the final match, and then one team won 7-2. So like even if we would have won, we lost our match. But even if we would have won it, we weren't going to win at 7-2. So
how you said he played terrible and you didn't play great. How were you tied for first? Just your grinders, your gamers, just like ripping people's hearts out?
Yeah, he had a couple good holes here and there. I was consistent, but like I think I had one birdie in all those holes.
Gotcha.
Right, and I was the low handicap in the whole flight, so I got 0 strokes. But yeah, I mean I played pretty well even tonight, right? We had a 2-man game going for 9 holes. We used and the guy that I played with is a 2 handicap. We used my score on 8 of the 9 holes.
Wow.
We won though. We won though tonight.
Nice.
All I'm hearing here is that Jordan did not lose in the playoffs by a 4-putt.
No, correct, because we did not make it.
Was it a good scene? And that's always those. Remember, shootouts are always kind of wild.
Yeah, when their stands were still up from the state open.
From the state open, gotcha.
They left them, so that 18, the final 2 groups coming in, there were probably like 30 people sitting in the stands right by the green.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It was cool.
Those people probably pooping their pants. You got like an 18 handicapper. That's
I wish I would have been out there so I could have line drive one off those stands.
Well, you're good. You are good at that.
You are.
Quick change of topics. Jordan, I know that you were all over the which we will not be recapping, but you're all over the playoff of the Barracuda, Akshay Bhatia versus Patrick Rogers. So Akshay Bhatia goes on to win. Patrick Rogers really just he hits his ball into a divot, right? He hits his ball into a divot, comes up about like 20 yards short on a super elevated green in a buried lie, can't get the chip within 30 feet, and Bhatia's got like a 10-footer, he's got a 2-putt. So his girlfriend comes out on the green. And Jordan, do you know the backstory with Akshay and his girlfriend?
I've heard it before. I do not remember.
Kyle?
They met online. I don't remember which app.
Slid into his DMs.
Yeah. And then caddied for him at a Corn Ferry event last year in Mexico or somewhere.
The Bahamas, and he won.
Bahamas. Yeah, there.
And so the story is that she knows nothing about golf. I don't know if she was on the island during the tournament, and he said, come out and caddy for me. So they've been dating. This is like now 15 months ago. They've been dating. And he has this like emotional thank you in his interview after she's been with me the whole way. He's crying. She doesn't know anything about golf. She's walked 72 holes every event, week after week. And I'm like, mission accomplished, Presley?
Yeah. Way to go, Presley.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, she's there for emotional support, contributing a lot to this relationship, but not financially.
Literally, her Instagram byline is somewhere watching Akshay Bhatia golf.
What else is going on here? Like, other than we just assume that she's just trying to attach herself to a potential. Well, she made it. I mean, you talk about getting in early in a fantasy golf or fantasy football league, trying to pay off a few years in advance. She went after a 19-year-old Akshay Bhatia on the Corn Ferry. He's 21 now.
Yeah. I mean, she really knows how to caddy. She's good with taking the flag in and out. He's always got tees and clean balls, right? Like I'm sure she's working hard caddying for him.
Can we get an age check? She looks much older than him.
So whatever she was doing before didn't pan out, and I mean, again, I shouldn't say
much, but she's clearly older than him, right?
She's investing time, and it's going to have a return. It's just I don't want to judge. He obviously felt very, very moved in their relationship, but like the facts just it's just kind of funny. Anyways,
valid.
All right,
100% valid.
Let's do a quick roundup of drinks, then we'll talk about the Open Championship. Jordan,
I for once have a non-hazy IPA. It is Citra and Chill from Blackstack, a cold IPA with Citra.
Good.
It's actually it's pretty good. It's weird not drinking a hazy IPA because I feel like that's all I've had for the last 6 months. But
yeah, those cold IPAs are crisp.
Yeah, it's good.
I have a pie gift, if you will, and I got a background on, so you might not be able to see, but you guys love my pronunciation, so I'm gonna butcher the brewery. Oliphant Brewing, Lumberjack Baes. It's some lumberjacks dancing around. So thank you, Paul, if you're listening. Enjoy it.
You guys are gonna get the same comment I always get, which is, why is your beer fridge not stocked? And it's a really great question.
Have we not done something about this yet? Like, do we need
Hold on.
Hey, when I pick up those 3M passes tomorrow, I'll take care of you.
So I went for the Modist melt.
Oh,
so
we'll play.
We'll have a fun night. It's
we'll play
10 milligrams THC.
All
right.
Would you be saying that on here? Does anyone at work listen to you, Mike?
It's not illegal.
There's no testing.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Well, Magic of Hollywood. The let's talk about the Open Championship. Jordan, the last time we had him, actually the last 2 times. I don't know that you've seen my new invention, which is the Wheel of Major Championship reactions.
No,
So,
Jordan has not been on. He's been like some of our articles after the majors the last few times and taken a week off.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna spin, and you get to react. So we'll see how quickly we can get through it. We can get through 3 or 4 here. But I don't know. I hope you watched it. We watched a lot of golf this weekend. Kids were really into it. All right, Kyle. If Brian Harmon got hit by a bus on Saturday night, what would you be talking about with sort of the second echelon of players at Liverpool this weekend?
Well, the story on Sunday would be, can Cameron Young win without putting? I mean, he dominated tee to green. He lost 4 strokes putting over, so he Scottied.
Yeah, for sure.
And
see, my answer was going to be, you're in England, look right first, dumbass.
Brilliant.
Jordan wins that one. Jordan wins that round.
I don't know. It was the guys playing for second was pretty incredible. And it was just like, God, if he wasn't there, this would be like it would have been electric. But there's lots to talk about what Brian Harmon did, but I just thought it was funny. Good job, Jordan. All right, next topic. I'll kick this one to Jordan first. What do you consider your must-haves in an Open? Like what do you want to see if you're watching a British Open?
Akshay Bhatia's girlfriend.
Okay.
Maybe
No,
next year.
I like the weather. Make them play through some crap, right? Like, even if it's not crazy wind, the rain was interesting, even though then it softens up the course and makes it easier for them.
There was no wind then,
Yeah.
like.
Yes,
Kyle?
I want a squall sometime.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I'm 100% with Jordan on the weather. I'll add to that.
I thought you were going to say on the girlfriend.
Well, that too. But I'll add to that, somebody also just drilling a bunker shot into the face of a pot bunker. And
it wasn't drilled, but Fitzpatrick looked like on 17 on Saturday, he left 2 in like that, beach that was over to the right of the green.
On that note, Scotty made this cut by the skin of his teeth because he hit the lip and it still went out and trickled down for a birdie to make it on 18.
Did you guys see the frogs?
Ooh.
No.
This is yours, Mike. This spins for you.
It was kind of ridiculous. So all of a sudden they go into this delay on 13 for 10-15 minutes on, was it Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah, where the guy had to go move the frog.
Yeah, so it's on Sunday morning, and they start talking about how there's this endangered frog species that comes in from the coast, and the only person licensed on the property to remove the frog is the head superintendent. So they waited for 15 minutes to wait for him to come and remove this frog, and I was imagining when they're talking about frogs, it was going to be 50 or 100 frogs just all over the green, and they had to blow them away with blowers. It was one tiny frog that was the size of a quarter. Anyways, that was.
Some people care about nature.
I'm not. It's just more it seemed like a very British thing to have happen during the event.
All right, Mike, I've got one that's not on the wheel. That's for you.
Okay.
What did Alex Fitzpatrick say to Matt when the rounds were done?
I beat you by 10.
It was only 2, but yeah, I bet. Matt
I thought there was a punchline.
No, you were supposed to give me. I was asking you for you the punchline, but the crappy golfer brother beats the major champion winner. They were tied for a while. They almost played together on Sunday, which would have been pretty cool.
So Alex Fitzpatrick plays with Matt right at the Zurich, and what did we say after that? Alex Fitzpatrick kind of sucks. His swing isn't good. He hits it all over the place. He hits this big hook. and I kind of couldn't believe what he was doing. I didn't see a lot of his round, but he fist pumps this 72-foot putt on Sunday that he makes on the first hole for birdie. And I was just like, I don't really like him, but just kind of having a good time. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. I enjoy the underdog sticking around.
Yeah, Matthew Jordan, another one. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but yeah, there were certainly some good stories. Okay, last bit here. The wheel wraps up. Oh, dud or historic? Kyle, you want to start with that one? Was the event a dud, or did we witness a historic performance?
I'm never going to call it a dud, especially since I thought the course showed well. There's some fun elements to the course that are a little different than we get in some Open Championships, especially like 17, for example. The weather showed up. I mean, we could have used a little bit more wind, but we talked about you got your one round in the crap. Yeah, Harman ran away with it, but he at least teased a little bit on Saturday and Sunday with a couple opening bogeys before he shut that door. Not historic, not a dud. I'm going right in the middle.
All right.
I would agree with that. But it was historic seeing Brian Harman stand next to the amateur winner, Curtis
Lamprecht. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were in the tunnel together, and it was literally like Brian came up to his belly button.
I mean, that's 13-inch difference.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So many jokes I can make right now, but I won't.
I was holding my breath waiting for it.
Yeah, I know not to talk when I lay them up. I don't want to talk over it. Get a good ISO.
They would all be a little too graphic. That's why this.
Just on Christo really quick. I didn't see any of his round on Thursday, so he's obviously leading after the first round. He hit it all over the place on Friday. All over the place. Like, dude must have been just shaking. Which, again, cool story. I thought he was going to miss the cut.
There was a lot of movement in that swing. Even I'm saying that. So I understand how it would be hard to replicate consistently.
I was listening to K-Fan, must have been Friday morning, and they made a bet. Meat Sauce made a bet that he was going to miss the cut. This was before he teed off, and then he almost did it.
It was certainly close. Yes. Well, lots of other good topics there. Lot being made this week so far of the fans really hating on Brian Harman, and Brian Harman using that to fuel sort of his killer instinct. And then you start hearing the stories about him
and his animal killing.
Yeah, well, but as like an 18-year-old kid playing some of these matches, NCAAs, whatever else, like just kind of really stepping on guys' throats a la Ricky Fowler. Yeah, I guess the dude was kind of built to do this and just hadn't. Speaking of underdogs coming through, I think the Listener League had a new first-time winner, T. Nash, 46, taken down first place. I don't even think he was 6 of 6 and didn't have Brian Harman. I think maybe he was 6 of 6 and didn't have Brian Harman. Second place was Ness, 0163, and third place, Andy Dingas. Good job, listeners. Good. Obviously, Kyle, Brian Harman was third in our model. I went back. I listened back to the takes. Like, we were both on him. He was my value play. I was punting on Denny McCarthy for Brian Harman. Should have had a lot of them in your lineups, right?
I did. Got a lot right this week. Unfortunately, not quite everything right, but yeah, we were big on Harman. We talked through the bomber narrative last week, and I think we faded away from that pretty hard, which for the most part played out. Yeah, obviously Harman was out there. Rory was decently high in the model, had a good week. Victor did. Fleetwood did until Sunday, and really that's where start of the potential amazingness started for me. Was Fleetwood falling down on Sunday at a 6 for 6 and $12 single entry, and yeah, that hurt. And along with just, of course, the Sundays got me a little bit. The only one that really hurt me, Mike, Justin Rose. All the other people that had some love, you talked about Denny. I faded Denny. I faded Tony Finau. Rose was the only one that got me, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right. Compared to those two guys, because there are 3 landmines, compared to those two guys, seems like he's the guy that should have sort of like the auto plug and play in a British Open. So It burned us in the joint lineup. We went Justin Rose. He was my pick, so I'm sorry. Otherwise, we were 5 of 6. But yeah, the top contributor of the week, top expert of the week was Cody Williams. He had Brian Harmon, Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, and a few others. Gutsiest play, Matthew Jordan. So the Liverpool native. Again, like, is this like, did I miss this? I didn't go back and check his ownership, but this kid literally plays this golf course like 30 times a year. You would think that should just be automatic, but I missed an opportunity there.
I do want to shout out to Jordan's guy last week from the name game, I believe. Romain Lettuce. Romain Landescu. He came in pretty good overall. What 17th in DraftKings points, 6,900.
Tied for 33rd, yeah.
I wanted to feel that I thought I'd be feeling the same way about Tristan Lawrence, who made, I think he shot 1 or 2 under in for the first 2 rounds, goes plus 11, plus 12 on the weekend, and finishes dead last of guys that made the cut. So that did not help. I had a lot of Tristan Lawrence and was pumped to get him across the cut line, but that did not help.
He got me 44 points.
I know, and the guy that missed, whoever was first missing the cut, I think had like 38.
Last thing I had, Mike, is Scotty at 12.5. Yes, did he perform to that price point? No, but he still was 20th in DraftKings scoring, and he ended up in like that $12 single entry I mentioned at like 13%. I would have taken 13% Scotty all day. Unfortunately, he just Scottied things on Friday and Saturday when it came to putting, but yeah, I'll take that all day at that percentage.
Jordan, I really don't want to do a one and done update because I know what you're gonna say.
Well, Jordan's not.
No, I think didn't you guys do really good this week?
My guy did Jordan Spieth make the cut?
No.
Yes, he did. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He was playing really well on Thursday, and then he ejected.
Yeah.
So did my guy, but I think ended up 60th.
Let me scroll down, find you guys.
You go all the way to the bottom, guys. All the way.
I don't know how that happened.
Kyle, we both had Brooks Koepka. They got us a solid $39,000. 2 people picked Finau and DJ and totally missed the cut. Where is Mike? Oh yeah, Jordan Spieth, 121,000. You beat us. Good job. We had 3 people with Rom. Solid week, got $1 million, and then a few with Rory for another 500,000. Year to date didn't change. Champles. Oh, I guess Champles must have had a better week because he's now in the lead by 183,000 over Derek Howard, but they're close. And then 1.6 million, and then you get down into the 3s, 5s. 13.45 million. Mike, you're in last place. Last.
I'm aware.
You are in last place.
Derek got hit by the DJ ejection. Would he shoot 10 over on Friday or something like that?
Something like that. One and done.
One and done is done.
Wire.
Next.
Yeah, coming down to the wire, but not for me. All right, buckle up. Hometown Open Championship, TPC Twin Cities.
Let's go.
Blaine, Minnesota. This is the 5th year of this event. Last year won by Tony Finau. Other past champs include Matthew Wolff, Cameron Champ, Michael Thompson. This is interesting, Kyle. I hear a lot of comps to Florida golf courses, and I know there's a pretty tight Minnesota-Florida connection, but what gets it done at TPC Twin Cities?
For sure. Most water balls over the last 4 years compared to any other course, 302 or something. I believe the number is. Ron Kloss from Bettsburg cited. So yeah, 100% might as well be a Florida course. There's water everywhere. Water's in play on 13 holes. We were out there last year as we saw Hideki completely eject on 18 with 3 water balls, and then we're pretty sure he didn't even take his drop in the right spot at the end because he just said F it, and we thought maybe walked off the green to go to live. But yeah, so you're going to need to avoid bogeys. You're going to need to avoid double bogeys. You're going to need to stay out of trouble. There is a lot of bomber narrative, which I'm not buying. Yeah, Cameron Champ's won, Tony Finau's won, but Michael Thompson's also won. And you go back and look at the leaderboards outside of just the people that have won, also like Matt Wolf. There's a lot of positional type golfers in there, Brian Harmons, if you will, as opposed to just straight bombers. So those guys have won the event, but they've mainly done it based on their approach play and a hot putter. So at the end of the day, approach, hot putter, opportunities gain, avoiding trouble. There's a lot of approaches for 150 to 200 yards. That's my lean, not distance. And hot take here, last year the cut was +2. That is substantially better than it's been the previous years at 1 under and 2 under. The reason it was last year harder is because of the wind. The wind wasn't necessarily high, but it was a north wind. And when you look at the course and how it's laid out, for example, hole 18, your approach shot is almost going straight north. It's going north-northwest back across that water. That's what got Decky in trouble. That's got what some of those water balls in trouble. And you can't fully bail out left there because there is some, well, there's some trees to the left off the tee, and then there is bunkers to the left as you get further up. Hole 9 played as the hardest course in the hardest hole in the course last year. A north wind pushes you right into the water on that. It's a green that tucks around the water. So I think that's why last year the primary driver of it playing a little harder was that north wind. We have been dry. We have been hot in Minnesota, and we're not going to have a north wind this week. We might, we're going to be in the mid 90s tomorrow. It's going to be hot and dry. And this time of year, if it's hot, the wind's out of the south-southwest.
Kyle, weatherman, I'm on the weather website right now, the one that tells you the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Friday, Saturday, northeast winds, 10 miles an hour.
10 miles an hour. I'm okay with 10 miles an hour. I think we, to your point, on the weekend could see it a little bit more, but Thursday we're having a south wind. Thursday night Thursday afternoon we're having a south wind.
Yeah, the
Sunday
temperature
we're having
also going to
a
be
southwest wind.
Temperature is going to be perfect too, right? Like Thursday is going to be hot with maybe a chance of thunderstorms, but then 86, 81, 82 for the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend to watch golf in Blaine, Minnesota, which is somewhere between the armpit and the taint of Minnesota.
Somewhere between downtown Minneapolis and Canada.
Closer to Canada. Okay, so it's a great weekend to watch golf. Yeah, that actually might be right. What is the on the fly here? What's the on-course reporting schedule look like? We have potentially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday coverage.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Friday afternoon, big day for the group here. Got off days. We got some golf action happening, so stand by.
You're not going to the tournament on Friday afternoon?
Going to the tournament all morning and early afternoon, and then have a 3 o'clock tee time. Big day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It will be. It will. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting close. I hope guys like JT limp through the cut line so that when I take my daughter on Saturday morning to see her favorite golfer in the world, we can watch him like with nobody there play a 3.5 hour round first tracks on Saturday.
For sure. So Jordan couldn't make it last year, but I think we should share some favorite stories from last year real quick, Mike.
Well, we did go back by the media area where they were doing player interviews, and we saw Sung Jae get interviewed, and that's where I got the hot take from Tom Hoagie that to fare well at the Pine to Palm that year, I had to hit it straight, and I was like, no, Tom, the answer is hit it long. But so it shows that he knows. Then
have you seen his golf game? Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
And he got fourth last year.
He did. That was pretty cool. I do not foresee that happening this year. Spoiler. The other probably interesting thing is on the ride over from the parking lot one day, I sat on a bus with like a player, a couple of caddies, and a credit union rep. And this is where like one of the caddies was caddying for Ben Crane for the week, and someone was asked about how the shape Ben's game was in, and he's like, "Oh man, it's like it's not good, but we're just here, not even trying to make the cut, PVO only." And I was like, "Wow, that like what an incredible way to approach the game. These guys aren't even trying to make money this weekend. He just wants to find some feels."
I love
Golf
it.
is hard.
That's the epitome of my golf game. PVO, positive vibes only.
Yeah, golf is hard. Golf is hard for everyone. So I thought that was interesting. And then obviously, Jordan, have you been tracking the Eric Van Rooyen stuff? I know it's all over the media now, but
yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And the fact that they put them together.
I know. Someone's got a sense of humor.
That's epic.
But like even Alex Goggert's qualifying story is crazy. How he got like 3 hours of sleep in an airport and just like landed at 9 o'clock in the morning and made his 11 o'clock tee time and shot 6 under.
And they qualify at the course, right? The Monday qualifiers.
Not always.
No, not.
Or was it this week?
It's usually in the area, but not that exact course.
I don't know. That let's come back to that. I actually don't know.
I'll Google that.
So last year, my favorite story from being out there was on Thursday morning, out there bright and early, and I was out there for the first group. I think that had like a 7:06 tee time or something like that. So off the back tees, Bo Hostler, Matt McNeely, and somebody else that I don't even know, we're on 10. They started on 10. I'm standing up by the green, the only person standing there watching those guys into the green. And the third golfer I didn't know outside of those other two flew the green, and his ball came within like 2 feet of me, and I was the only person there.
Nice.
You got a brush with celebrity there, Kyle.
And after that ball landed, I walked over to go figure out where to go next. So I didn't even watch it play.
Nice. Mike, have you ever played Victory Links in Blaine?
Kyle and I had this conversation for a different reason.
Yeah, I'm playing on Saturday.
This is where the qualifier was.
Yeah.
It looks wide open.
That is why we're going there. My golfing partner on Saturday requested a course he could spray it, so that's where we're going.
Oh, you can see if you can shoot 4 under. You could have qualified for the tournament.
I was trying to tell Kyle that I believe that golf course was built as a part of like the sports super center work, and it was made to be like a highly accessible junior course. So they have lots of like U.S. kids tees that are built further up, not just like tossed in the middle of the fairway. And I wonder, Jordan, if that was part of the design, was just to have it be like really fair. In retrospect, if Alex Goggert is shooting -6 to make a playoff in the Monday qualifier, it's probably not at TPC Twin Cities, because if all those guys are shooting 6 to 8 under, they did not set the course up very hard then.
Yep. So here's designed to be as inviting as an executive course, and yet challenging enough to host a PGA Tour event.
Yep.
I have played out there previously before. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a solid course.
And it looks really nice. It's just, like you can hit the ball forever, like anywhere you want.
All right. Well,
get us back on track, Mike.
Yeah, 40 minutes in. Kyle, you want to hit us with some plays?
Yeah. So first, we'll give a download of the model. Leading the way so far, and we have to call out people are kind of being lazy, a little open hangover. We're a little short on contributors at this point, where compared to normal on Tuesday. But we have 2 guys coming in at 42% mention share, Emiliano Grillo and Lucas Glover so far. Both kind of middling on the NPI, but you get a little salary savings, 8,200 on Glover and 97 on Emiliano. Emiliano has a second and third here in the past, including a second last year. After that, we go to the top of the board. Cameron Young, 10-9, and Hideki at 10 even. 36% mention share. Joining them is Sepp Straka and Ches Reavie, 9,500 and 7,300, also at 36% mention share. So far, none of those guys are real high on the MPI, but as we said, we're missing some folks that really have been some of our top contributors lately. So that stand by tomorrow where how that shakes out.
All right. Well, couple of plays, couple of spots to start.
If I'm going up the board, I like Sungjae at 10-3. He's getting 24% mention share right now, but also a pretty strong MPI. He has some good course history here. Was in the, hung around last year, was in the running, has been top 10 twice. So I think if I'm going up the board, I like him at that price point. I'm intrigued by JT Poston too. We all know I like JTP. He's 8,400. He's been on his form has definitely picked up. He's found his hot putter again, 24% mention share. One guy I am not sure where I'm going to go though, Mike, is Cameron Young. 10-9, and like I said, 36% mention share. So he's climbing up the model. I'll see where that MPI lands tomorrow. He was great tee to green last week, as we talked about, really soft with the putter. He needs a good showing here. I'm surprised he didn't back out, but it's just tough seeing a guy come over from being in contention at the Open to showing up and playing and having a good week.
Yeah, it's because it's probably not sponsor related. So it's not like he's got an obligation because he added this late. So you're right. Like I am surprised that I didn't check where he was FedEx Cup wise, but did he do enough last week to help his position?
He's pretty good in the FedEx Cup. I think it's more Ryder Cup driven.
Yeah, which I know for like someone like Finau is also the case as he sits kind of just outside the top 6. So I'm sure you do have some of that.
Yeah, I mean, Finau's a little bit further down there. Cameron Young's 8th currently. Homa 7th. No one else playing this week no one else ahead of him is playing this week, so he could hop up. JT's 14th. Finau's way down at 19th. So those guys need good weeks.
Jordan, what do you think? Who are you going to play at the 3M? You can't play Marty Fish this year, so what are you going to do?
No Marty Fish. I was doing a little research while Kyle was talking there on the qualifier. One guy shot the course record at Victory Links, and he's now going to be in his second PGA Tour start ever. Except for his only other one was last year at the 3M Open where he missed the cut.
Who is that?
He's been doing Monday qualifiers for a while. Daniel Gale.
Okay.
He shot 9 birdies and an eagle, a hole out on 18 from the fairway to get an eagle and break the course record. He won the qualifier by 5 strokes, so maybe I'll take him. Probably not though. So yeah, I'm a big. I was on Sepp Straka last week, and I think all of the lineups that I did, and he did good here last year too, right? Is that am I making that up?
I don't think he played here last year.
Okay, well, someone that looked like Sepp Straka played well here last year.
Emiliano Grillo.
No, but I don't know. Sepp, he's just been playing well. He's trying to get on the Ryder Cup for Europe. I think he's close again after his second place finish or so. So I'll have a bit of him. Ludwig Aberg. Price is expensive, but I'm playing him in the one and done. I'm hoping I'm the only person. He's at the very bottom of the list, ranked 999 in the one and done pool. But I found him, and I'm picking him. And then the other one's Eric Cole. Dude's just been playing good. 7,800 seems like a good price. He keeps playing well.
It's a very good price, and it's astonishing that he's not above $8,000. He's been perpetually like $7,400 to $7,800 regards to the event. So I'm with you on Eric Cole for sure.
I like Eric Cole as well.
He's made 6 cuts in a row and 8 of his last 9.
Yep. I think, and we know he's played well at the Florida courses. He's a premium iron player. It's just kind of whether or not he putts well, and you don't have to be a good putter on this golf course. This is one of the easiest putting stops on tour. So I do like someone like him. It doesn't fit the bomber narrative, but I think that works. Kyle, I'm with you on Sungjae too. I think I'm hoping. I don't think he'll be super chalky as far as the 5Ks go, but His form is it's okay. He missed the cut at the Scottish Open. He missed the cut at the U.S. Open, but his approach play has been returning, and that's kind of what gets Sungjae going. So I like both of those guys. Not sure what else yet. Like I said, I think there's a couple of guys in the 7Ks that Aaron Rai is a good example. 89 on our power index right now. Let me down big time last time at the Scottish Open, but you're still getting a decent price for Aaron Rai, and he definitely has the ability to pop. So a couple of spots. Mostly value.
We mentioned Lucas Glover's high in the model this week too. I am going there. A little tease to the betting card as well. His last 3 outings, 4th, 6th, and 5th. Lucas Glover's always been the guy that can, find their approach. But his putter has become not awful the last 3 times out, and he's went to a new stroke, new putter. So hopefully he can keep that running this week. I'll be there.
Have you guys changed strokes lately or no? Going with what's consistent?
Yeah, you got to go to the old reliable.
Good. Just checking. Wanted to check.
I changed last year for like a couple times out, and
it just didn't feel the same.
No, I was leaving everything short. The other guy, Kyle, and I know Gaiman went here on his pod this week. Vincent Norman has been playing excellent golf. He's got the win at the Barbasol. Dude can smash the ball. That's kind of been his MO. Gaining distance on the field, gaining off the tee consistently. I'm going to guess at 8,100, a guy with that form, a win and 2 top 25s in his last 3 events. I'm going to guess he's going to be chalk at the low 8Ks. So beware, but I think certainly playable in cash.
Yeah, I think this goes back to what you want this week. I'm not as intrigued by Norman because you look at his profile. Yeah, he won the Barbasol. He lost on approach, lost strokes on approach. RBC Canadian Open, U.S. Open. So I think it comes down to this week. If you want to go those length guys, want to line up your skill stacking, go for it. Put him in there. But if you don't think that's the way to go, that's somebody to maybe tread lightly on. Like you said, Mike, maybe not in the GPPs for sure.
How about tiers quick, and then we'll introduce the name game.
One other thing I wanted to highlight, I kind of forgot to say this before, but just some other course history guys that had just crazy course history here. I wouldn't have expected. Bryce Gardnett, 31st, 16th, 26th, and 23rd. So 4 top 31st, top 31s from a guy you would not expect that from. Adam Long has been top 25 the last 3 times out, and Patton Kazire has not finished worse than 46th here ever and made all 4 cuts. We talked about it a little bit, but tier 1, just kind of an interesting set of names this week. You have Cameron Young, you have Sungjae, you have Finau. Wanted to talk about it because I think I'm a hard fade on Finau. He's only getting 17% mention share, so I don't think that's going to surprise anyone, but it's also pretty low on the MPI. We already talked about how we like Sungjae. Cameron Young's going to draw a lot of ownership, but I think Sungjae is a great place to go to counter Cameron Young.
All right. So the name game this week, before I get to our bit, I know that we know that narrative lineups in the DFS community is a thing, and people like to build them around funny themes or skills or whatever. So we have narrative lineups, but Ryan, the Fantasy Bunker, at Fantasy Bunker on Twitter, had a bit where he responded to one of Sia Najad's narrative lineups with, "We head to the Twin Cities, home to the Mall of America, my favorite old school mall stores. Cameron Champion, Hack Sun JM, S.H&M Kim, Toys R Russell Knox, Christian Urban Bezadenhout Outfitters, and Ludwig Abercrombie and Fitch." Those are his 6 classic mall store names in his narrative line. I appreciated that sense of humor.
That's good.
I like it. we've been on the name game train now for over a year. I like that it's catching a little bit more wind up here. It's good to have fun with it.
It's good. So let's have a little fun with this one. So last week, Jordan, you did win. You had the duo of Thurston
Lawrence and Tyrrell Hatton.
Yep. Hailing from Thurstanton and Hatton, England. I came in last. Not good. Not what I needed. Kyle, second to last, and the listeners in second. Jordan, that means you open up a 2-point lead with only 5 events to go. So it's not over. It's not over, but Kyle's got to run the table. Okay, let's see how you do here. You're going to be picking last. You're going to get brewery duos. Each player is kind of representing one of the local breweries here. So if you're listening from out of state, here are 8 breweries based in Minnesota that you might be able to check out. So we have the team of Ryan Fulton Fox, as Kyle pointed out. Now Fulton now sports foxes on their cans for some reason. Along with Justin Forgotten Star Thomas.
Ouch, what a dig. What a dig.
That might be about the best one. So we're getting out of it. Yeah.
Seth Surly Straka playing with Grayson Blackstack Sig. Doug Dangerous Man Gim paired up with Lupulin Aberg.
We're nominating Dangerous Man as the best label. Look it up if you haven't seen it. But Doug Dangerous Man Kim, I like it.
Steven Steel Toe Yeager paired up with Tom Grainbelt Hoagie.
We had to get Tommy Tables in there. And of course, it's like the boring beer of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
exactly. I thoroughly dislike premium.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible. But some people love it. I don't understand.
It tastes like blueberries.
I have blueberry Grainbelt in my fridge.
I think you're wrong, Kyle. That's the beer I had 2 weeks ago on the podcast. All right, I get to start the picking off since I finished in last. I'm going to go with Doug Dangerous Man Gim and Lupulin Aberg.
Ooh, it's me next. Thinking about the Forgotten Star, but I'm going Steven Steel Toe Yeager and Tom Grainbelt Hoagie. Let's go with Tommy.
Wow.
Just throw your fake money away.
So where do the listeners go? We just get to stick Jordan with someone here, Kyle. And I want to stick him with Justin Thomas, but you know that Justin Thomas is going to top 5 then.
Well, so my thought was give them the better breweries, which was obviously
Surly and Blackstack.
Blackstack. Well,
and Surly's like the OG, so yeah.
Okay, all right.
And Straka's getting some love this week. I feel like that's a decent.
All right,
Justin
you got Justin
winning it. He's winning the tournament.
Cool. It's going to be cool when he does. All of these teams within $400 of each other. So good job, guys. Kyle, it sucks that you want to bet on the 3M Open. It sucks that you have to drive to Iowa and then drive back for the golf tournament, but you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Can we get our representation to do something about this? Let's figure out how to get this through here, make Minnesota a betting state. That said, Adam Hadwin.
Your bookie doesn't do this for you, Kyle? You actually have to drive down there?
There's a special Casey's that us in the community meet up at, Jordan. Casey's are only in Iowa for there. Adam Hadwin, 40-1. Lucas Glover, we talked about 55-1. I am on the Sung Jae train at 22. Adam Svensson at 75. And the last one, wait for it, Justin Thomas at 31-1. Not great value, but I figure I'm going to be out there. It would kill me to say see JT win if we were not on him. So that's kind of our group rooting bet, if you will.
31-1's not good for JT. Or do you think he should be like 75-1?
Yeah.
Well, with how he's been playing relative to this field, he should be like 50, but yeah.
All right. Well, last bit on the 3M, of course, folks are going to want to know who are the locals playing the locals that are playing in the event this week? And I think I got them highlighted, but I didn't actually look this up, so I tried to do it off of what I know. First of all, I'll give Tom Hoagie credit for being a local. He's not a local, but he's like adopted in the Minnesota golf community, won the state open during his college days. Troy Merritt went to high school here, went out to, I think, Boise or something like that for college. Eric Van Rooyen played golf at the University of Minnesota. Frankie Sappin, so he was I think he was the state open or state am champ a few years ago. Kyle, did you listen to Rick Run Good this week?
Parts of both the betting and DFS show.
So he's telling his audience that deep in the DFS community, Frankie Sappin is rookie of the year whenever he gets his tour card. That's how much raw talent this kid supposedly has. That is going to be unleashed on the tour once some kind of coaching gets to him. But I'm imagining kind of like some of these guys, like even like a Sahith or even guys like Cam Champ, just that can just smash the ball, but are pretty raw.
I'm playing at Frankie's home course on Friday, so
yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe he'll if things don't go well, he might be out there. Caleb Von Aragorn, who we said won the Minnesota State Open and the Minnesota State Am this summer by a combined 21 strokes.
Yeah. That's awesome that he got the invite.
It is super cool that he got the invite. Both these guys. So Frankie Sappin, Caleb Von Aragorn. I'd say, like, if you're out of the 3M, like, just go check out those guys when they're out on Thursday and Friday, because it'd be cool to see some of the young local kids up close. Derek Hitchner played in the Final Four of the Mid-Am, U.S. Mid-Am a couple of years ago. Alex Gogurt, we talked about him and Eric Van Rooyen. They will be paired together the first 2 days. Eric Rowland, I think, is the coach at Augsburg University. So he got in, I believe, as an exemption. And then obviously Tom Lehman will be playing as a sponsor's exemption as well. Lehman, obviously, Tom probably Lehman the greatest.
Junior.
I don't think that's his kid. Is it his kid's name?
Yeah, I think it's Thomas Lehman. Okay. Is the one that's playing.
Okay, I didn't realize he. Okay, I thought I saw a bit about him, and I should have looked it up. I should have clarified. I didn't realize. It does say Thomas here, and I don't think Tom Lehman would be in. So there you go, Tom Lehman's kid. Yeah. But Tom Lehman, obviously, probably the one of the greatest players to come out of the state of Minnesota. So, I don't know, a lot of Minnesota connections in the field. I'm excited to be out there. The golf course is really accessible, especially if you're out there Thursday and Friday. You can get pretty close to players. You can get there's a couple of spots where the course does go off into the houses, kind of back in these corners, and I would maybe avoid getting stuck back there, but they're probably a little less traffic.
Yeah, like last year, we like 10 green, 11 tee, 12 green, 13 tee, and then 18 fairway. You're kind of a 40-yard circle. You can hit all those.
Yep, and there's another spot too on the front nine. I don't know if it's like 4 green, 5 tee, 9 tee. There's another little spot there where you can see a lot of stuff. I think, Kyle, you and I followed Hideki, Hoagie, and Im for a while, and that was a good little group. Yeah, lots of good. So just find a good group Thursday and Friday and just kind of chill for a little bit. It'll be nice out, good action.
Yeah. So close. Mike, you brought up Minnesota golfers.
Mm-hmm. Did I miss someone?
Did you see the story of the idiot Minnesota golfer on the PGA Canada tour?
Is he from? I did not know there was a Minnesota connection there.
From Burnsville, Minnesota. Played at the U of M.
The name did sound pretty familiar.
The guy that got his scorecard signed by his playing competitor and then erased his 18th hole score and put one 2 strokes lower, which let him make the cut.
That's how that story concluded. I didn't, after it said that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep. And then other players saw him, the scores, and no, he hit it in the water. He had no way he got a 5 there on that hole. So he had a 7 and he erased it after it got signed and put a 5. And then he got called out. And with him then being 2 strokes higher, the cut moved and 16 more players made the cut. because of his cheat. Like crazy.
So I know he had this apology on Twitter. I honestly thought, like, when I saw it, I thought it was tongue in cheek, and I thought he would like did something accidentally, and he's having this like sarcastic apology, like, sorry, like I accidentally did, whatever on the golf course. That's one of the more egregious things I've ever heard in professional golf. And one, how did he think he was going to get away with it? Two, is he not banned? Is he just not banned now?
You just have to hope whoever no one was paying attention.
No one was watching. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like the two of us golf together, and you're off in your own world, getting in a car to go to fly somewhere else, and Kyle doesn't even know that I did it.
I suppose PGA Tour Canada, there's not a lot of people out there watching, so it's
yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. It's like, what's the repercussions? Is he banned? Right? I would assume.
Yeah. How could you not? Like that's so like unbecoming of the sport. But if he's not banned, then it was worth a shot. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys out on the golf course this week. I'm looking forward to seeing real golfers up close. Follow us on Twitter all week. We will be ramping up our content, firing off live tweets Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever we're out at the event. Of course, you can find our podcasts on Wednesday mornings on any major podcast platform and on YouTube, Reading the Green. We'll be back in a week to talk about the results of the Hometown Open and preview the Wyndham Championship. See ya.